Hi and welcome back. Let's look at some examples of class method and static method. There were some terrible examples in the last video, so I just wanted to apologize, but I wanted to show you the syntax for those two types of method, the class method and the static method. Let's have a class here, which is going to be the basis of the example in this video, and I think it's going to be a better example for you to understand in which situations to use which type of method. We've got this fixed float class. It's got an init method in which an amount property gets initialized in the object. And then it's got a wrapper method, which returns a string representing the object. We've looked at this type of method, at this exact method before, and all it's doing is it's printing fixed float, the class name, and then self.amount, which is the amount that we initialized earlier. And this is an interesting Python construct that allows us to print the amount to 2 decimal places. Not 3, not 4, not 5, not 1, just 2. So for example, if we were printing 15.50, Python would normally print out 15.5, but with this construct here, it will print 15.50. So this is a fixed float, a float to a fixed number of decimal places. If we wanted to create our number and it'd be a fixed float like 18.5746, then we can print the number and it will print out that this is a fixed float of 18.57. So okay, this does something. What is a use case that this could be useful for? Well, for example, for currency, you could imagine using something like this for some currencies that are always to 2 decimal places, but sometimes they trade in the stock markets to many more decimal places in the currency markets. So anyway, it could be useful in some scenarios. Now, imagine we wanted to get a new fixed float object as a result from summing 2 floats. We could do that, we could do something like def from sum. And then of course this is an instance method, so it takes self, it takes value 1 and value 2. And what this is going to return is a new fixed float object of value 1 plus value 2. So again, maybe not something you would want to do. You could just add the values together and then create a fixed float object from the result. But let's say we want to do this for a particular reason that you'll see in a moment. Now, if we wanted to create a new fixed float object that is a result of 2 values, we could say new number is number.fromSum. Notice how we have to do number.fromSum because this is an instance method. It doesn't have any decorators on top. And it'll be something like 19.575 and 0.789. Then we can print the new number, like so. Now we get a new fixed float object, which is 20.36. That's the fixed float that has been returned, which adds up the 2 numbers together, 19 and 0.7. However, I don't really like this, because in order to call the fromSum method, we've had to first create a fixed float object that we never used, right? We only used it to call this method. We never used self inside this method, and we never used this number anywhere else. So really, creating an object for this is not that useful. You should only create objects when you're going to use them. So instead, we could make this a static method. Remove the self, and now you no longer need the object there, which means that instead of calling it